I'm Dale Johnson, Field Service Manager with Horton. Today we're here at the Horton headquarters in Roseville, Minnesota, and we're going to cover the pneumatic function of a fan drive with a normally closed and a normally open solenoid, and the function of each and how they work in conjunction with the sensors and switches on the engine. Today we're going to start off with our older HTS product, which is a legacy product. It's been out there since the early mid-70s. This is what you call an air engaged fan clutch versus a spring engaged fan clutch of the DM Advantage. The systems function similarly but different. Right now I have this set up with this is a normally closed solenoid valve. And on the HTS, because it's an air engaged fan clutch, it requires a normally closed AC pressure switch and a normally closed thermal switch on the older mechanical engines. And if it's on a newer engine that is a electronic ECM controlled engine, the sensors would also be just the opposite of the solenoid valve. Solenoid valve is normally closed. The sensors or switches have to be normally open on the air engaged fan clutch. If it's a normally open valve like I have here, the switches and sensors need to be normally closed. I'm going to demonstrate here on the function. I just have it set up here with the air pressure. I'm going to switch it on, activated the fan clutch, and now it turns all as one unit. Take away the air pressure and it's disengaged. Whereas with the DM Advantage product line, in its normal state, it's engaged as one unit. You put air to it to disengage it. So this here, when you put air to it, it engages. And again, like the thermal switches on this one with the normally closed valve are normally open, and it activates the clutch. Now I'm going to switch it over to a normally open solenoid valve with normally closed. Okay, now I've switched from the normally closed to the normally open system. This is a normally open solenoid on here, meaning that air flows constantly from the truck air system to the fan clutch, even when the fan solenoid is not energized. So as soon as you start the truck up and it's not calling for cooling, the fan clutch will disengage. The normally open solenoid is paired with normally closed thermal switch and AC pressure switch on the older mechanical engines. If it's a newer engine that has ECM controlled, the sensors would on the air engaged clutch would also be normally closed. What I'm trying to drive home here and get at is that if you have an air engaged fan clutch with a normally open solenoid valve, you need normally closed switches and sensors. If you have an air engaged clutch with a normally closed solenoid valve, you need normally open sensors or switches. But if you start off with like a DM Advantage or a spring engaged fan drive, both of the sensors and the solenoid valve and the sensors are normally closed. Your solenoid valve is normally closed and your sensors or switches are normally closed. And that's with the spring engaged DM Advantage fan clutch. Now I'm going to cover the difference between the normally closed and normally open. Just to define it a little further, normally closed solenoid valve means that no air can flow through it until current is applied. Normally open is defined as normally open. Air flows through it freely until current is applied. When current is applied, it closes and stops the airflow. We'll go over the plumbing of the normally closed solenoid valve. With a normally closed solenoid valve, the air outlet is number 2, the air inlet is number 1, and this third port is the exhaust. And like I said earlier, this is normally closed, no air flows through it until current is applied, and it flows to the fan clutch. With the normally open, the number 2 port is the port that goes to the fan clutch. Again, it's whether it's normally open or normally closed, the number 2 is always going to the fan clutch. but the number 1 port turns into the exhaust, and the number 3 port turns into the inlet coming from your air system. And air flows through here until current is applied and stops the airflow. Well, lastly, I want to cover 2 Horton solenoid valves. This here is part number 993379. This will fit on every truck from 2002 on forward or newer with a spring engaged fan clips. They all have the same connectors, the same plumbing, everything, normally closed solenoid valve. So this is on every truck from 2002 to today. And over here we have the Horton HD300 solenoid valve. This is a universal, one size fits all, part number 993293. It's applicable to the older air engaged HT fan clutches, and it's also applicable to the newer DM Advantage spring engaged fan clutches. Anywhere, any model year, it's one size fits all. It also comes with a handy dandy filter you can put on for your older trucks with air pressure and all the fittings. So this is a universal one size fits all. It'll get your truck on the road as soon as you can. We've covered the normally open, normally closed solenoid valve, and I know sometimes it's confusing because I've been doing this for 30 years and sometimes it even confuses me, but we got it right today. And I just want to thank you all for watching.